Shalom, Kol Halal, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakah, Kodash. Double honors into the apostles, double honors into the elder bishops. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever, the 144,000. And the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth among the heathen nations that look like those heathen nations. This is not a black thing. And to the few Akwaf that are listening and learning, to you I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago, coming at you with another lesson in truth. All right, seeking to edify the scattered elect that are scattered around the earth among the heathen nations. And this is a video that I just happened to come across, and it was a whole bunch in the title, but this is the one that really stood out, and especially reflecting on a couple videos that I watched yesterday where Benjamin Netanyahu looked visibly shaken, and they had all those, they were like rats in a cage, and it turns out that they were actually in an underground bunker because it seems that the Israelis is losing and the media is not showing you that. It's almost like a false election that's being when someone is losing, but the media wants to, but it's not part of the agenda for the person that's winning to win, so they broadcast false news. Who was it? Is you got Trump, you're fake news. That's pretty much what it seems like is happening here. And I'm going to allow this guy to speak and give the receipts, to bring the evidences that were presented by Esau's own sources. They got leaked, and then they deleted the information, but it was too late because too many people saw it. But let me grab a scripture first. All right, let's grab a scripture. Because what's happening is they're being found out. The fact that they even tried to still push this narrative that they're the people of the Lord at this point is a futile effort. They're going to be faced with the brutal reality of admitting that they know that they're not the people. That's how, and that time is close. It's close at hand. But they're going to have to say, surely, we've inherited, our fathers have inherited lies. So they're going to be forced to admit what they know that we know to be true. But this is Luke, is it 12 and 8? Twelve and 2. Well, I'm going to start at verse 1. But the point is in verse 2. It says, in the meantime, when there were gathered together an innumerable multitude of people, insomuch that they trode one upon another, he began to say unto his disciples, first of all, beware of ye of the leaven of the Pharisees, which is hypocrisy. So there's a lot of hypocrisy being spoken on both sides of the aisle. Okay, the U.S. spews hypocrisy. Israel, the IDF is spewing hypocrisy, and you also have the prophets, which is what this is really talking about, that are spewing the truth, while false prophets are spewing falsehoods. All right, but verse 2 in the point. For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known. All right, so, the exposure, the embarrassing, shameful spewing on the glory, on this fraudulent, false glory of these Israelis who are indeed Esau, and as a matter of fact, they're Amalek to boot, as they try to use the Amalekite, projection onto the sons of Ishmael. you know, yeah, you can't. Amalek is a Edomite. You notice they don't say that word Edom. They usually try to avoid that. And when they do speak about Esav, as they call him, they point out that that's white Christianity. Another point that the Christian apologists, led by Vocab Malone, never speak on that point. You'll never hear them come against the rabbis who say that white Christianity is Esav or Esau, Edom. All right, and that Esau and then they'll tell you that Esau is to be the slaves of Jacob. This is what the rabbis teach, but the apologists, all they're worried about is what the Hebrew Israelites are talking about. They won't address that issue at all. But without any further ado, Saeed Mahmoud, that's his name, Saeed Mahmoud.
The central command is being operated under bunkers led by Netanyahu. And at the same time, Israel has announced a lot of restrictions on information flow in and out, on civilian casualties, and they have also barred or banned their own citizens from sharing any information with anyone. And this is what they have done recently during this period of attack from Hezbollah. So restrictions on civilians in northern Israel and also Golan Heights in place. These two places are very, very important, so that because Golan Heights has people who are from Syria, therefore if the information is getting passed on to these people, then they will pass on to their own relatives, and the whole world will know what is happening in Israel. And this is why they put emphasis especially in these two places, northern Israel and the Golan Heights. And this is not, of course, looking good for the civilians of Israel, because they want to share news, they want to find that freedom of sharing information on X, on Twitter, but Israel has imposed a ban, a complete ban on this news information being shared. So BBC journalist said that Israeli government has issued a new censorship regulations, and because of this, the Censorship Regulation Act is something that they follow very strictly in Israel. It protects their privacy, their security, and for the most part it is because their information, because Israel is located in a place where the neighbor country are all Arab countries. So they don't want to give any information to anybody.
So they want to give the fraudulent information. They want to pretend and and be fraudulent in their safety, and push that there's peace and safety, and there's not peace and safety. These people are not safe, which once again proves that there's no way that they can be the people of the Lord, because the prophecy is very clear that when Israel goes home, it will be all 12 tribes of Israel, and they would dwell in peace and safety alone. But these people are here. This is 1 Thessalonians 5:3. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. So a lot of them are going to start dying. A lot of them have died, and they're covering that up. They won't even allow them to speak. All right, they're putting a lockdown on communication, because they don't want people to know what's really going on there, because they're perpetrating the fraud. All right, because these people are been found to be liars again and again and again. Because the scriptures is very clear about Israel when they go home dwelling in peace and safety alone. This is Deuteronomy 33:28. Israel then shall dwell in safety alone. The fountain of Jacob shall be upon the land of corn and wine, and also his heavens shall drop down dew. So they would have plenty of corn and wine, all right, honey and dew, meaning they would have wealth, food, water, supplies, They wouldn't be in want of anything. They would be safe to not be. Matter of fact, it also says that there will be no more weapons. And then the most important part of this prophecy, when Israel goes back to the land of Israel, is that King David would be sitting on a throne. They have met none of the requirements of this. They have met the requirement of being Esau, who would hijack the land and fraudulently say that he was the people of the Lord until he's exposed, which will bring out that prophecy when he's done speaking. We'll bring that out at the end.
Just want to keep it to themselves. The only country that will know anything about what is happening in Israel, the only country I should say, is going to be United States. The information was shared by BBC Journal in a now deleted post on X.
So there's your receipt.
As I said, this information or this tweet was deleted on X, and I think Elon Musk has ordered X to be very, very careful in how this whole thing will be shared on his platform. The regulations cover damage from rocket attacks to infrastructure and military bases, including the intelligence service or the headquarters in Gilgad. I think this is how you say it, Gilgad or Gilot. I'm not 100% sure, but I think this is how you say it, Gilot. I think so. I don't know, but obviously that office or that building is being destroyed completely. Now, Israel authorities warned that Hezbollah attacks could escalate into a multi-front conflict, and I already have actually spoken about this, that Hamas now they have attacked Tel Aviv, central Tel Aviv, with snipers. And so this is indeed becoming a multi-front conflict for Israel. Attacks coming not just from Hezbollah, but also now from Hamas and Houthis. As you all know, they are also waiting.
Wow.
So Israel's news channel is called Channel 12. They have reported that.
So they're getting attacked from all sides. They are not dwelling in peace and safety alone. All right, and and all this was done so that Benjamin Milkowski, also known as Netanyahu, would not face the justice from his own people, trying to oust him. All right, and him being brought up on crimes against humanity. He's a wanted man in many of the countries around him, and many of even NATO, even in his allied countries. He's a wanted criminal in most of their countries, in quite a few countries now. All right, so this is actually quite embarrassing. This is quite embarrassing. So that narrative that they are the people of the Lord, you know what they are? They are actually Jewish. That's what they are. And being Jewish does not make you an Israelite. That they are. You can go to the series on the critical race history channel, not theory. Yeah, critical race history, not theory channel, and and see the all sorts of content to from videos that talk about that very point. All right, because Jewish people are converts. Anyone can convert to Judaism. It is a religion. It is a religion. And it's not even a religion that's based upon the Bible. It's a religion that's based upon the Babylonian Talmud. The Bible is the front, because the Bible is actually against all other religions and against the Talmud and against Judaism. So what they've done is they've taken this J word and they've hijacked the Israel and the term and the actual Israelites heritage, and they replace Israelite with Jewish. All right, that's what they've done. Remember, it's the 12 tribes of Israel, not the 12 tribes of Jewish. Abraham, fact, was not Jewish. Isaac, fact, was not Jewish. Jacob, fact, was not Jewish. All right, and neither were the 12 tribes. Remember, that's a negative term that's connected to the one tribe of Judah, and it's a very It's not even an actual description of them. They never referred to themselves as that. All right, because you'll listen to them speak in history, and talk about the forced conversion of John Hyrcanus, which is something that they never talked about in the past until the men of the Lord began to bring it out. So they were forced to talk about it. And when they talk about it, they'll just, talk about this mixture, and they became Jewish. Like, huh? What? Well, excuse me? How did that happen? No, John Hyrcanus forced a bunch of Edomites, Idumeans, to follow the law, statutes, and commandments, and that became your section of the Jewish people. That's where the Herodians come out of. All right? So these people are just embarrassed and shamed. Let's grab another scripture, and then we'll let him finish out. And they're trying, and this is really damage control. But Zechariah. (9 and 6). And it reads, "And a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod, and I will cut off the pride of the Philistines." Ashdod is basically, the modern day city of Tel Aviv. All right. Remember in my Rogers Thesaurus 1933 states that bastard, means fraud, phony, fraudulent, and fake. So, the Bible is literally telling you that there will be a fraudulent, fake, phony people dwelling in that land. And the prophecy tells us that that's Esau. That's what the prophecy says. And that's actually what's happening, what's going on.
The Hezbollah plan was to destroy the Iron Dome and send over 320 rockets in matter of just hours, and then total 6,000 rockets. So this is again coming from multiple sources, and we can confirm that. The IDF announced that over 100 fighter jets struck Hezbollah launchers in a preemptive attack, which I doubt happened because, maybe they can do a preempt, but that doesn't mean they have caused any damage because, again, as I said, it is very, very hard and difficult to say anything at this point without seeing evidence and proof. And this is exactly what I was talking about in the beginning of this video, that Israel, the Zionists, they do not provide enough information. They do not pinpoint where these launchers were destroyed, as IDF is claiming. How many of them were destroyed? None of those details.
The men of the Lord have been calling out this fact of what he just shared since the apostles and elders came on the YouTube in 2007. These people report news, especially the Israelis. They just say anything and they provide no proof, no evidence. They do it here in America as well. When it comes to some of these events that took place, that they were able to shape policy, and how you can and hide behind mis and disinformation lies, some certain events that took place where the proof was never, the bodies weren't, you never saw anything, you never, there was never any evidence that was actually presented to prove anything that they were saying. Especially like when you have like a cyber attack, that's the easiest thing to do, because they don't have to provide any proof whatsoever. All they have to do is say that it happened and point out some fingers, because anybody can pull a switch and click a button and then say it was somebody else. So they love to use things of that nature. Just saying that as an example, things that they don't have to provide evidence for, that actually creates real effect, both physically and visibly, or or on the minds of the people, because the people have psychologically been damaged because they believe the lie, or not that the fact that this event didn't happen, all right, or just the fact that it was done by, it was an inside job, but yet but the public is being told it came from an enemy, but the enemy was from within. If that, if you can follow what I just said. And that sort of thing has been done quite often. And America's even provided evidence that they've done this. Just look at the how it was an inside job on Kennedy's death. That's not hidden information now. It's not conspiracy theory anymore. It's fact. But the whole but for three decades, damn near 4 decades, you were a conspiracy theorist, if you spoke about that. Now it's fact that it was an inside job. All right? So it's not a conspiracy theory anymore. So that's just evidence in itself. These people, man, they're through. They're through. And not only that too, it clearly says that when Israel goes home, the Lord would dwell with them. They won't have to defend themselves or worry about any other power raising up to once the kingdom is established. The standard has been lifted. The Israelites, the elect, will have spiritual power. The Lord himself would be there. But yet, you're going to have some mortal men with carnal weapons that would have no effect on heavenly things trying to come against them. This is ridiculous. So you people to still think that these are the people of the Lord. And I know that a lot of the world population is beginning to see and believing that they're not, because they're being called on it even by the Edomites.
On the other hand, you have Hamas and Hezbollah giving every single details, where it happened, who was killed, what time it happened, and what will happen next.
Yeah, so Hezbollah and Hamas are providing receipts with the things that they're claiming, but the Israelis are hiding the information, and they can't hide it anymore. All right, and that whoever that journalist is on the BBC, from the BBC, probably got fired for leaking that information that they had to pull down off of X. All right, so like I said, they'll be found to be liars. Matter of fact, let's go back to that. We'll wrap up with that. We'll read a couple more scriptures and wrap it up. The point has been made. But I was already there. 30. I read 28. But Deuteronomy 33 and 29, it says, "Happy art thou, O Israel, who is like unto thee, O people saved by Yahweh." See, Yahweh's going to save Israel and place them in that land, and nobody's going to be able to move them out of there or harm them or have the power to harm them. All right? The shield of thy help, and who is the sword of thy excellency, and thy enemies shall be found liars unto thee, and thou shalt tread upon their high places. And the Israelis, the Zionists are in bunkers right now, hiding, getting their reputation, which is their highest place. The false propaganda, which is their highest place, is being trampled on. They're being exposed. They're being shown to be frauds and liars. All right. And let's go to Ezekiel 36 and 5. We said we would bring that out, all right? But this is Ezekiel 36 and 5. And concerning the people that are in the land of Israel, it reads, "Thus saith the Lord power, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen and against all Idumea." Idumea is the Greek way of saying Esav. Edom, of which the Greek way of saying the Edomites, or Edom. All right? "Which have appointed my land into their possession." This is another prophecy that, the apologists nor the rabbis want to deal with. The policy that Esav would appoint the land to himself and call himself a Jew. "Which have appointed my land into their possession with the joy of all their heart, with despiteful minds to cast it out for a prey." So the Israelites will cast it out for a prey, and Esav has claimed the Holy Land, and that has now been exposed. Kol Halo Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai Bahasham Rakah HaKodash Kwam Yasharala Shalom.